Hi, I'm Jennifer Pelsick, owner of Breaking Through Intensive Therapy, where we think different, move different, and be different. And we love to connect with like minded business owners that think outside the box as well. So today we're here with,
My name's Dominic. I own Any Lab Test Now with locations in Medina and North Olmsted. We do lab testing, make it more affordable and accessible for all that either have high deductible insurance or just don't have the time to go to the doctor.
awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, love it.
At Breaking Through, we work with a lot of clients that are in pain. And obviously, with what we do with physical therapy and the brain training, we can eliminate a lot of their pain, but we know that pain is inflammation.
hmm
And sometimes when they're not responding to our treatments, we do talk about diet. And a lot of we've learned over the years doing this that a lot of people don't connect that physical and mental issues can be related to inflammation, which is
Yeah,
diet. And we try to educate on non-inflammatory diets. We
yeah,
do what we tell them what we know because we're not nutritionists,
right.
but we do study a lot about food and how it affects the body because of what we do.
Mhm.
And we are starting to talk about gut health with a lot of our clients. But can
Mhm.
you explain to us what is gut health? Like, how would you explain that term? Because you
Right.
hear it all over the place.
Yeah, it's definitely something that gets thrown around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And with the anti-inflammatory is becoming a huge thing because, the things that we eat, it affects our
Mm-hmm.
daily life more than probably anything. Genetics has a
Right.
lot to do with it, but what we eat and drink, we, eat and drink 3 times a day.
Right. Or
So,
more,
or more,
depending on,
depending on,
yeah.
yeah, what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's important to know what that food is doing to your body. And
Sure.
that gut health, you got to think of gut is like an ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So it affects your immune system. It affects how you think. There's a reason why they say it's your second brain, is
Yes, we
because
do hear that too,
yeah,
all over the
and I know
place.
the gut microbiome is like a big
Hmm.
blanket term that people like to throw around,
And then
but
nobody knows what it
and
means.
nobody knows
Yeah.
what it means.
Yes.
But it is very important to know that it's more than just I get bloated or
Hmm.
I feel sluggish after Thanksgiving dinner. Everything that we eat should be compatible to what our body can handle.
Right.
And with certain tests that you do can build off of what should be in your system and how you should set your diet.
So are those, like you mentioned, bloating and
hmm
things like that, are those some of the signs and symptoms that people should be looking for to know if they have gut issues?
Yeah, that and skin issues.
Okay,
Skin
yes.
issues, and
Yeah.
then I know you guys do stuff with cognitive. You help with
Hmm.
brain
Brain. Yeah.
training, so that's even brain fog can be the
Right.
result of something that should not be in your gut, or the result of what you're eating or your environment. Your gut
Hmm.
is not happy. Is the best way
Right.
to think about it, so you don't get like too technical. Your
Hmm.
gut's not happy, so it's having an adverse effect on your entire body.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So if someone's listening to us right now and they think they might have a gut problem,
yeah.
what tests would you recommend at any lab test now for them to know for sure
Yeah.
if they need to make some changes?
The one that I really love and gives us the biggest picture, it's our GI Basic,
Okay.
and it goes over 100 biomarkers, which
Uh,
tells you about your bacterial overgrowth, candida, which is one of those bacterias,
yes.
parasites. It goes over H. pylori, which is a cause for
Hmm.
problems in the gut, and then it also
Uh-huh.
goes over viral bacteria. So it
Okay.
gives us that huge picture to see what's going on and could be causing those certain things.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and then it sounds like you're extremely knowledgeable in these tests and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So that's awesome.
yeah.
Because, okay. So then,
It's important because people, that the normal person, they either don't have a doctor
yeah.
or do have a doctor, but they won't run the tests. So you need to come somewhere where they can explain
Right.
everything to,
Hmm.
but for people to understand.
Right, because
Yeah,
sometimes your doctor will say, "Go get this test," and then they don't tell you why or
yeah,
what's they think is actually going on with you that
yeah,
they are recommending this test.
yeah,
So, how can someone get this test done at your office?
yeah.
So, walk us through that, and what does that look like?
Love to. So that's the biggest benefit of any lab test now, and the reason why I got into it is you can be your own health advocate.
Hmm.
So we don't need a doctor's order, and you can just walk right in. We take appointments,
Okay.
but if you're dealing with one of the things that I just talked about, you can just walk into one of my locations, get one of these kits, that for the GI Basic, you can
Okay.
take it home and then just either send it off from your house or bring it back to make sure you collected all the samples correctly. We always go
Okay.
through everything, and then we send it out, and you get results in 10 to 14 days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how do we get the results? Like, how do you send them?
Yeah, we have a portal just like you would get at a hospital or a
Okay.
doctor's office, but we also are able to send it through email, fax, send it to your doctor. That's the other great thing about any lab test now is we find a way.
Hmm.
So if there's a certain way that you need it sent to you, or maybe you don't have the flexibility, and you
Hmm.
just get it one way, you have to go to my chart, or
Yes.
which is convenient, but
Yep.
if you want it a little bit differently, we can send it however you like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then how is this test administered? You said samples. What are we looking at?
Yeah. So the best way to get a look at a picture of your gut is through a stool sample.
Okay.
There's 3 different samples. It's very easily described in
Okay.
the how-to test, which we give in the kit. So I know it's not many people are going to be ready to give that type of sample when they
Right.
walk into my office.
Yeah.
So I get it,
Yeah.
but
Or on command.
or on command, yeah. Because if
Yeah.
they're dealing with these
Right.
gut distresses, they probably are
Yes.
having a little
Right.
trouble to go. So
Yeah.
we hand them the kit as well as some samples or some supplies to help
Okay.
with that, and
Got it.
they package it up, and they can either bring it back, like I said, you can either bring it back to us and we can double check it, make sure the order form we sent with them, they didn't change anything,
Okay.
or all the samples are labeled correctly. I totally I would prefer that,
Hmm.
so that way they're like, okay, we think you did it right,
Yeah.
and then I just trust the people that do it every day,
Hmm.
and I can do a once over, or my staff can do a once over, and then we can send it out, and you can be sure that the results are going to come back. But it's
Awesome.
long story for a short answer or short question is you take it home,
Yes.
and then you give the sample stool, and
Yes.
then send it out, and then in 10 to
Yes.
14 days you get results.
I like the fact that people can do it at home. I think
Yes.
that would make it easier for a lot of people.
Right.
Do you have any client success stories that have taken this test, and
Yes.
what were they struggling with,
Yeah.
and then what they find out, and then what did they do?
So I have one that's very close to my heart. It's actually a really good friend of mine. He was dealing with a skin issue, horrible, horrible skin rashes to the point that it was debilitating. He was not
Mm.
able to work. He was getting these thick red rashes that was looked like ulcers on his skin.
Mm.
And he would go to the doctor. He got a colonoscopy.
Hmm.
They put him on a biologic. It's the type of medication that they do for like Crohn's.
Okay.
So everything was just like a glaring, it's got to be something autoimmune.
Yeah.
And most autoimmune issues stem from the gut.
Right.
So I'm thinking to him, like, you should try testing your gut out. And he's a very, very intelligent guy. He does a lot of research on his own. So he still went to his dermatologist. He still went to the same Western medicine way, like we all know what to do.
Hmm.
But he's like, I'm not getting any answers. And he was sick of putting steroid cream on his skin twice, 3 times a
Yeah.
day, which is not good for
And
long
that
term.
could cause a lot of issues too.
Yep. And the problem with the biologic was it was masking the effects, but it was worsening the issue, because what he found out is
Okay.
when he came into the lab, he got the GI Basic test, and then when he got the results, he found out he had massive bacterial overgrowth.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then he was able to take that, use AI to see, hey, what's going
Yep.
on? What kind of issues could I be getting from this bacterial overgrowth, and a few other things that was on there. And they said what type of diet you should go on. It was a FODMAP diet, so he changed it up, got off the biologic, only every once in a while has to use the steroid cream, but it's lessening.
Okay.
And now he can actually work without pain.
Oh, that's great.
Feels his brain is back to functioning like high function that he usually does,
Yeah.
and doesn't have to. He shouldn't have had to go and spend $2,000 to $3,000
I
on
know.
specialists doing the test, doing the colonoscopy,
Hmm.
and colonoscopies can't see stuff like that.
Right.
You,
And then the doctor never recommended a gut health test
no,
to him.
no,
Yeah,
because
that's.
they are through, as you know, that you don't take
Hmm.
insurance. They are given this. You have to do this
Right.
guesswork. You
Like the
do,
process to get to the end.
do this
Yeah.
test. Okay, it didn't work. Go do this test for follow up, and that's not
Hmm.
work. Now come back. Let's review. Let's check,
Hmm.
which is great. But if you can get this test and arrive at the doctor's office with
Hmm.
results in hand, they can use their knowledge that they got from many years in college
Yeah.
to look at that and say, hey, now we have a different treatment plan.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that story. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yep.
Yeah, so can you tell us how much this test would cost?
Yeah. So the test is $399,
Okay.
and then you get the report, and then with that comes recommendations, and then you can take it right
Okay.
in there, which will save you thousands of dollars, like I just said in the
Yeah.
story, in guesswork.
Yeah, so going off of that, like you
Yeah.
mentioned how we're both out of network for insurance and we
Yep.
have several reasons why we are,
Yes.
but why would someone come to your office to have this test for $399
Mhm.
as opposed to going in network and using their insurance?
So they will have their results in hand when they go to the doctor. We don't have
Okay.
physicians on staff.
Okay.
We're specially doing test results. So we do the
Mhm.
testing and we make those cheaper because those are the things that don't get covered with
Mhm.
insurance. The only thing with a high deductible insurance that gets covered is routine.
Right.
And with routine, you need a diagnosis code.
Okay.
So a lot of these tests, they're not going to have a diagnosis code, especially if they chart it wrong, or
Mhm.
there's very few things that are considered routine.
Right.
So you can go through all this, not just money, but time.
Yeah.
That you can always make more money back, but the one thing you
Yeah.
cannot make more is time.
I know, I agree with that. That's what
And
we tell our clients here, that we can see you a lot less frequently
yeah,
if you come here and we get you better than
yeah,
if you go in network and they do their protocols
yep.
and meet their visit frequency and things
Yeah.
like that. So, yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
important to do what works, not what's
Yes.
cheapest.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Within
And
parameters, yeah. Obviously,
yeah,
not thousands of dollars because
yeah,
people are on a tight budget. But
right.
if it's a matter of $100 or $200, I
Mhm.
would much rather do the thing that works,
Sure.
get the results I'm looking for, and enjoy
Mhm.
my life instead of
Yeah.
having to I save 50 here, save 100 there, but I have to
Mhm.
go to 2, 3
Yeah.
doctor's visits. I'd
Mhm.
much rather the first.
I mean, I we are in a point in our life that time is
Yeah,
valuable. When
yeah,
you have kids and a
yeah,
family and a business to run, it's
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
you need to pay attention to that stuff.
You
Well,
do.
thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then just to reiterate, at Breaking Through, like we do try to eliminate pain and prevent injury and train your brain to function optimally,
Mhm.
but we should take further action if we're not getting the results you want to get.
Yeah.
And so I have learned from you and before I even knew you that knowing these lab results and getting tests done to see what's actually going on inside
Yeah.
is extremely important. And you can like learn so much more about yourself
Yeah.
and how to help yourself differently, which is what that's why our tagline is think different, move different, be different, because
Yeah.
we truly do things differently and they're so much more effective, where I think you agree with that.
And I mean,
So,
like you said about learning the test from me, I've also learned
yeah.
from even the most like athletic and fit people.
Yep.
They tend to overcompensate. It can be said the
Yeah.
same with our health. The
Mm-hmm.
people that are busy and motivated, they tend to put their shoulders up and just
Yeah.
move right through. But the numbers don't lie. So when you can
Right.
get the tests and it's not impeding you,
Yeah.
you can you can make better decisions about your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you recommend? Like, how many times a year should people get testing done for like
Yeah.
general things going on with their body?
The gut health one, not much. I would
Okay.
see if you have one of those symptoms that you're dealing with, the brain
Yep.
fog, the skin issues, the bloating. That you would probably need once a year,
Okay.
or after you get it the first time, check yourself to see if that bacterial overgrowth is coming or is subsiding
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, and it's 6 months to a year. But if you're doing, say you're a male over 35 and you want to check your hormone health, we have panels for that you can look into. And if you're taking those results and adding changes in your diet and the way you sleep and work out,
Mm-hmm.
then I would suggest doing something small quarterly,
Okay.
or or 6 months, just to see if those changes you're making are improving your numbers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's helpful. Thank you.
yeah,
And then can you provide contact details and locations of your office and things like that?
yeah.
Like where are your
Right,
offices?
right.
Yeah.
So the my North Olmsted location is right there on Lorraine and Stearns in North Olmsted. It's 28951 Lorraine Road. Unit A. And then the Medina location is off Route 18, right across the parking lot of Bueller's grocery store. If you're familiar with Medina, it's a big grocery store right off 18. Yeah.
And we'll provide the phone numbers and everything for your offices too.
Yeah, check the link.
But yeah, exactly. So I just want to conclude with like
Yeah.
gut health shouldn't be just a fad or a trend.
Yeah.
It should actually be something we take very seriously to live a healthier lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, like we talked about earlier, it's where so things that are become top of mind lately is people dealing with inflammation and a
Hmm.
lot of new autoimmune diseases.
Right.
I mean, think about how many new people are diagnosed with Crohn's,
I
colitis,
know.
and a whole slew of other autoimmune
Yeah.
diseases that they cannot understand where it's coming from. It's
Yeah.
not a coincidence that since we have changed our diet and eaten things with more preservatives,
Hmm.
that we see an influx in autoimmune diseases. So I think this test could be paramount for people and the way they
Hmm.
go through life
Yeah.
is checking to see, why do I just have inflammation or do I have something deeper?
Hmm.
Where is this coming from? This can be tests and others like it could really help your life.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming to Breaking Through and
Thank you for
chatting with
having
us.
me.
Yeah. And I hope you all found this informative and Dominic answered some questions for you.
Yeah.
But contact us, either one of us, if you have more further questions. Thanks. Have a good day.